So, yeah, that's gonna be about Commerce Kickstart and about its family, about new version of Commerce Kickstart actually. Because those of you who have been here a year ago probably seen a presentation of Commerce Kickstart 1 and Drupal Commerce, which Kickstart is built on, and probably remember how it looked, that it didn't look very interesting there, at least from a, let's say, final user, store administrator point of view. So now we're gonna be playing with Kickstart 2 and everything that is built around it and for it and on it. So first of all, Commerce Guy here. Hi all. We are the company behind the Commerce Kickstart, obviously, behind the Commerce, obviously, and Kickstart as well. We are building it. We are helping with contributed modules. Essentially, we are doing everything that is Drupal commerce related and built for it. Also providing some other services for companies, building sites, building shops, more or less helping people, essentially helping businesses to thrive in this crisis time. That's me, Maciej Zgadzaj. Nice to meet you all. Since 2007 been doing Drupal. Since half a year been developing for Commerce Guys. You have some details. You can reach me on Twitter. You can reach me on IRC if you have any questions afterwards. Just want to connect, whatever. You're welcome. So, Commerce Guys, Drupal Commerce, and everything about it. I should start with a vision. We have a vision to build a Drupal Commerce to the point where it's #1 open source e-commerce platform in the world. Yay, sounds great. The thing is that you probably know a bit of history, that it started with Ubercard some time ago when Ryan built it. Then there were some stormy water around it, and there was a need for, let's say, a complete rewrite of everything. That's how Drupal Commerce started its existence. And it's being built for some time already. More and more people using it, more and more developers, but also more and more end users. So the thing is that what we are trying to do with it is helping developers, of course, to provide something that could be used in, if not almost in every situation, actually. That's our plan. So building something which is really spectacular, which is really flexible, which is really configurable from every point of view. But also build something that would give a really, really nice user experience. So not only from a developer point of view, but also from, as I said before, from an end user. Essentially, there are a lot of angles to approach this issue, and we are trying to tie all those angles together and build something that is truly spectacular. So that's our vision. Now, as Drupal Commerce has been started quite some time ago already, Drupal Commerce per se, it's still on its version 1. However, it's 1 point, I mean, those numbers after the point are growing every time. How we talked about Drupal Commerce still pretty recently, it was something that was built with developers in mind. So essentially what we're trying to do is, as I said before, build something that is really flexible, build something that is configurable, build something that could be used in many different scenarios, in many different countries, with many different regulations, with many different kind of stores, many different kind of shops in mind, so that each developer, essentially, wanting to build a web shop could use Drupal Commerce and build exactly what they want to build on it. So essentially the idea was that nothing is really hard-coded in it. Everything should be as much configurable as possible. Most of the things are built on, for example, views are built on rules. So this is something that you can go into Drupal admin and change yourself however you see fit. Another thing that was really great, and thanks to Drupal 7, the entity system and fields included in it, something that something that again gives you another level of flexibility and provides you an option to configure your shops generally, so your products, your orders, your line items, everything in exactly the way you want. There's a lot of contributed modules, and the number is still growing. You've probably seen, I mean, there are more and more. There are quite a lot of modules already included in Drupal Commerce per se. If any of you have played with Kickstart before, was it version 1 or version 2, you've probably seen that there are also quite a bit of additional contributed modules in it, which extend its functionality. So essentially the idea is to give the developer, but also the final user, like the complete web shop experience and complete product. So it's only a matter of final configuration, adding a product to it and making it looks nicely, let's say, and only those steps are required to have a fully functional shop. Also, the distributions that were prepared, vertical markets. This means that starting with our own distribution, which was still is Kickstart, there are also other distributions appearing, like, for example, Open Deals or Code, as far as I remember. So essentially distributions that are made for dealing with events, handling events like the Code or the open deals or something like Groupon actually. So again, the basic set of modules which was provided by Drupal Commerce could be used to put together with another contributed modules and prepare you such a final distribution, which essentially you could just install and have a functioning product. And the last thing, of course, those experts integrators, so essentially a group of people, us, but not only us, other, for example, or marketing agencies, other companies that are out there trying to help you, also the contributors which are writing other modules for a specific functionalities. So all those things are what made Drupal Commerce in version 1 something really breaking through, something really great, and something that lots of people starting using. But as, again, the first point says, it was built with developers in mind. Now, the problem was when normal users wanted to use it and build their story about it. For example, store administrators which have no developing experience. Sorry?
Please speak
closer. Okay. All right. Sorry. You hear me better now? Hopefully. Okay. No. Sorry for that. Now, the question here is that store administrators do not really care about. They don't care if it's built on Drupal or something else. They don't really care about entities. I mean, they don't need to know the concept of entity, for example. They still want to have a shop and something that's gonna bring them money. They don't care about all those features, all those contribute modules, about downloading stuff, about enabling, configuring, etc. Because they are not technical people. That's not something that really interests them. So these are their main questions. How the store, I mean, they want the store and the store to bring them money. And they ask how something like that could bring me money. Other question, I mean, that's the first one, how they can see what is happening in their store. And the most important question, which was really troubling a lot of people at the very beginning, and essentially even for the developers, it's a difficult concept to grasp at the very beginning, the difference between products and products display. I don't know how many of you have already played with commerce, with Drupal Commerce. You probably already know. Then for those who don't know yet, it's Drupal Commerce introduces kind of separation between product, which is a set of data defining the product, and which is entity, and a product display, which is a node entity, which is essentially getting the data from the product and displaying it for an end user. So end user can't see a product, he can only see a product display. The idea here was to separate data from a display. That's because, for example, you could have, let's say, to give you an example, like example could be a t-shirt, for example, which could have many different sizes, many different colors, for example, and each of those sizes, each of those colors could have its own price, and each of those sizes or colors could be a separate product, but still you want to display it to the end user as only one product on the front end. With some selects or other ways of choosing which kind of t-shirt you want. So essentially that was the difference. Each of those products has to have its own price, for example, or other details that specify it. So essentially it needs to be a separate product. It's also important for some reports, for example, for having identifiers, things like those. But again, these are things that are not that important for a bit of a developer, someone who, for example, going to make some reports afterwards, how the shop works, but not for somebody that wants to, let's say, go to the back office and add several products, just click around, add those, make them display on the front side, and do not worry about how it really works internally. So, the idea here was to, with the next version of Kickstart, the idea was to prepare and to give those users something that will take all those worries off their minds. Something that first would look nice and would work in an easy way and would not force those people, those store administrators, to learn about Drupal internals and how the Drupal works, what's inside it, what are those nodes, entities, and views and rules, etc., etc., etc. So essentially, that's why we started with Commerce Kickstart version 2, plus some extra modules, plus some extra other, let's say, functions that are built around it. So, more or less, that's what we have to offer at the moment, or what we are going to offer very soon. Kickstart is something that is the, let's say, most known feature, a most known product, something that is built on top of Drupal Commerce, which takes the commerce, puts it into a nice theme, adds some extra modules. It's essentially a distribution which takes it all together and gives you as a developers, but also store administrators, a really nice commerce experience. There are some other things like Marketplace, Kickstart for mobile platform, which I'm gonna get to in the moment. But first, quick summary, what I've said about Kickstart 2. This is something that shifts the priority to end users. Drupal Commerce is still there, is still underneath the Kickstart. So all the functionality that was there before, all the features that were making developers happy are still there and still can be used. On top of it, we have Kickstart and the distribution for the end users, for store administrators. So they give the proper shop experience out of the box. There is, I'm gonna show you in a moment how the Kickstart 1 looked before. That was something that you were really ashamed to show to prospect, a proper customer, for example, someone you were trying to convince that to build a shop with Drupal. That's where Kickstart 2 comes into play and tries to. Okay, yeah, there are things falling down. There you go. and tries to remedy that. Also offering it, because it's out-of-the-box experience, e-commerce experience, something you just download, install, you don't have to really configure anything. You have a working shop out of the box. So you can just install it, see how it works, how it looks, and then decide it without doing any extra configuration, without doing any extra work, if you like it, if you really want to use it or not. That's something that targets, I mean, as a distribution, it's pre-configured already. It has a set of products, but it also gives you the full configuration. So it targets a specific market segments. It targets mainly the small up to medium businesses selling stores which are selling physical goods. But that doesn't mean that other kind of shops, stores could use it for selling other things, because together with other contributed modules, it can be used for many, many different purposes and kinds of products to be sold. Going through this quickly, speaks merchant language. So essentially, again, it tries to hide the Drupal behind it and only show those elements, I mean at the first sight at least, only show those elements which are important for store administrators, which are important for users. So again, they don't have to worry about all the Drupal terminology, all the Drupal features and how it really works. And yeah, not only content, but the whole store. That's what I said before a moment. So it gives you the product pre-configured, ready to use out of the box. Exactly. Show me the juicy stuff. So let's have a quick look. Now I wonder how I'm going to do that. Let's try something like that, because now I need my hands. There we go. What we should start, though, with, some of you that already seen Kickstart 1, that's how it looked before. So essentially, that was a distribution. That's what you were getting after installing Kickstart 1. And yeah, I mean, you were going out with something like that to a potential customer and saying, hey, imagine, that could look like a store. That could look like a store. We could do, you know, magic for you with that. Really, I mean, that's like Drupal vanilla installation with some /node displayed to you that doesn't really look convinced. I mean, there is not a place to start, not something to show a potential customer, not something for a store administrator, for example, to know what you could do with it and to convince them that that's really a great product and you have lots of functionality behind it. Also with the toolbar, the administration menu, however, whatever you want to use. I mean, here it's admin menu toolbar installed. Still, it's, you know, seeing all those dashboards, structures, store, appearance, people, modules. I mean, thank you. No, I mean, and for you, it's fine being a developer, but again, for a user who doesn't know Drupal, okay, that's fine. That could, I believe you that it could look like a shop, let's say, but then how do I add my product, for example? How do I want to see, I don't know, a purchase funnel, for example, change it, configure it the way I want it to work. This does not really help. I mean, there is lots of things to do with it to make it work, to make it look like something really worthwhile. Hence the Kickstart version 2, which I need my hands again too. Come on. Not this one, not what we want. Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah, my screen resolution here apparently is not very big, but that's what you get after installing Kickstart version 2. That looks like a completely different product, completely different thing. Okay, it's still based on Drupal Commerce, but now we have quite a lot of UI love there. It looks, I mean, there are, you know, a lot of things moving, shining, looking really good, looking properly polished to start with. And then, yeah, you have like slideshow, you have products added with pictures. That's something that you know where to click to do something with it. That's something that you can look at and say, okay, that's something I might like, and that's something that looks like a proper shop. That's something I might consider to use at one point. That's the first impression that counts here. And of course, again, for developers, all the functionality that was there before is still there. That's something that gives those end users, those administrators, something to work with. That's some, hold on. Okay, have a look at the menu, for example. That's, again, you don't have that, oh, no, that's not what we want. You don't have standard Drupal menus anymore here. You have everything that is really connected with your shop. You have, at the first site, being logged as an admin, you see you have your products, you have your orders, you have your other contents, you have some store settings that you can, everything is put in the proper places, in clear places, that it's much more easy to understand. Of course, you have all those things that you would expect from normal Drupal menus, but they are hidden. Everything is hidden under advanced settings. That's something that you know, being a normal administrator, when you want to, for example, only add, edit products, etc. You probably don't want to go to advanced settings, not to break anything, not to mess with all those internals that you don't really care about. So that's something that gives you a completely different user experience and completely different starting point compared to Kickstart #1. Then that's something I can try to show you also. Hold on, there's been quite a lot of UI love here. So yeah, that's gonna be a bit tricky to show with this resolution, but you have a completely new theme which also is responsive. If only I could try to resize it and show you again. Yeah, more or less. Okay, let's try with the top. You see, these are all things that, if you can see it nicely, and maybe that's gonna be the, there are all things that if you start to resize things, moving, reacting properly, that's something that's gonna work not only on your big screen at home, it's gonna work nice on notebook, it's gonna work nice on mobile devices, on tablets, etc. So that's something that, again, not only looks nice, but works nice. Then you have things like, okay, let's go into products. Waiting, okay. Yeah, that's my local server, which apparently is not very fast. Hopefully it just needs to wake up a bit. There we go. Product list. Have a look at the left. You have pre-configured search API with faceted search. That's something you get out of the box with Kickstart too. So all the things, yeah, okay, probably it doesn't look very nice again. Normally, I guess that's gonna be my resolution. In higher resolution, you're gonna have a nice price sliders, so you can just slide things to select, for example, a specific range of products. You get all those categories, brands you can select, essentially, and everything. There you go. You just click and you have your filters. That's really slick. That's something that uses lots of Ajax, uses lots of jQuery, something that you can really play with and have quite a lot of fun. Okay, let's go to bits and bobs. Those things that are appearing here on the top, that's going to be also something that we will see in the admin section. A new UI elements. We don't, in many places, we don't use like standard selects, for example, but jQuery UI with some extra styling, some extra elements to, again, hello, no? Okay. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's not very fast. So that's something that you get out of the box. Also, for example, it's not only faceted search, it's not only search API which is integrated. If you use, let's say, integration this with a Solar afterwards, it's really easy. That's something that could work. I mean, you need to have Solar, but it's almost work with it out of the box. So those things are there already pre-configured, and it's just enough to install the distribution. You're getting everything. Let's have a, okay, what do we have? Collection to wear. Let's see how it works. Let's find a nice t-shirt too. We had some women t-shirts. There we go, women tee. Let's go there. All right, that's a product page. Again, looks much nicer than how it looked before in Kickstart 1, with some extra elements, like, for example, fancy product attributes. You click on the picture, you're getting the changed image. You have integrated multiple pictures which you can just click on and change it. You have zooms, okay, maybe without the, okay, where's my zoom now? There we go. All right, all those things, again, are for you there from the very beginning. You don't have to worry about thinking what you could do to make it look nicer, about configuring, setting it up, downloading all those modules that do that for you, because those modules are already there, included in the distribution. Like this color selection, for example, that's a Commerce fancy attributes for you, which already is included in the distribution, enabled, configured. That's something essentially that works on taxonomy terms reference with added color field, which then is, I don't know if you've seen the module, that's really something nice, which then turns those taxonomy elements into those color selects. And display them, let them, instead of having selects like, for example, here with the size, you can just click on those colors and change them. You have nice, again, jQuery elements like this, when you can select quantity, all those small fields, their UI has been rewritten, worked on, so there's been quite a lot of love to all those details to make it look properly, not like the, Kickstart before. There, adding to a cart. There we go. Again, you have such a nice confirmation after adding each product to a cart, which essentially shows you what can you do each time. It's not just that displaying, I don't know, Drupal set message, for example, saying that your product was added to a cart with a link. That's something showing you properly that, hello, this was the product, it was added to the cart, here is what you can do with it right now. You can go to checkout, or you can continue your experience with our shop and go check other products, etc. All those things are, again, really nice, and for a user, it makes for a completely different experience. It's just polished, it's just shiny, a lot of love, a lot of things moving, showing for you. So that's targeted at looking much better. Now, also, while we're on product page, I'm gonna show you edit, because edit is something that now we're getting into the administration section slowly. But administration section is, again, something that received quite a lot of love and received quite a lot of changes compared to what was there before in Kickstart 1. Those of you who played with it probably remember that to, let's say, add a t-shirt like this, you probably seen, okay, we have like 3 sizes, SML, we had like 3 colors, all right? So in the back of your mind, you think that was like 9 products defined, and that now 9 products were connected to one product display. And all that hell actually of adding all those 9 products, you needed to add each of those products separately, then go to content, create a node which was the product display, select all those products. So essentially there was lots of things to do, and the pretty difficult thing for people to grasp again about that part was the difference between the product and product display, and grasping it and understanding why it is done this way. There were lots of people complaining that why do we really need this? Why do we need that product separately from product display? I mean, and do the same thing twice actually, because once we starting adding it there, then we need to go there and do almost the same thing again. It doesn't just make sense. So to remedy this, we have something like inline entity form now, which is a really great module, which is integrated here in Kickstart version 2 as well. So you don't have to worry anymore. I mean, you just edit a node, you just edit your product display, enter some generic details about a product. For example, here we're gonna have t-shirts, so a name, some kind of description, and then you have all those variations here with all the products displayed which are connected to this product display. So you don't care about product actually anymore. If you want to add another one here, if you want to add another color or another size, you just go there, click add new variation. So you don't really have anymore product displays or product. You have product and product variations there, where all those sizes, all those colors, or anything else that you could want to be able to select inside the products are really the variations then. And you have everything in one place, which you could edit here also, not going anywhere else. You don't have to go to another page, open another form or anything like that. You have everything in place. So essentially you just change all the things that you want to change here. You can change price, you can change color, all the details. If you add any other fields to the products, they will be all here for you. So adding pictures, after doing everything, you just save the variations. You're still on the same page. Again, Ajax love, and you don't go anywhere. You just have an element of the page which is expanding for you with your form, where you make all the changes, save the variation at the end, and bam, there you go. Everything is there. The same with adding new variation. It just appears in the same place. So again, you're not going anywhere else. It's just more logical, it's more clear, it's more easy for everyone to do it this way. There we go. Let me close that. So that's for products, something that you can do, well, actually from the front office. But also, if you look at managing products from the back office, from the administrator point of view, like looking directly and the views there, listing everything, you have exactly the same things. Those products take you to the view, which actually again really list the product displays. But you don't have that difference anymore. You just look at the list of all the displays. So using the new terminology, list of products, which you could edit quickly. So you have list of all your variations inside with some basic information being available to change here. But also if you want to edit more than only the price or availability, you have the full edit, so with all the forms that we've seen before. So again, everything is one place, which makes the life much easier for you. This, of course, is based on views and VBO-powered views, based on also the search API, based also on those inline entity forms. So all the sweetness that started appearing there in Drupal 7, like put together and made use of for making people's life easier here. Okay, let me go there again. I think I've closed the page. Again, filters at the very top, what we have. These are, again, not a standard selects. That's something that being rewritten with jQuery UI, behaving in a slightly different way, which we believe, again, is easier and nicer to people. Something that works kind of with like tagging, so you don't have all those. If you have a store with multiple categories and lots of them with subcategories, etc., you don't have those huge selects. You don't have any not really friendly, for example, autocompletes or any other elements like that. You have just things that you know from tagging that you could select. That's something that's been automatically added. Something that you could click on that nice X, remove things, etc. So all those things makes using this part much easier. You could filter like putting, that's not the one that I wanted, yeah. You could filter with the names with many different angles, and using that administration panel is much easier as well. Then, okay, let me get rid of that. The same as with products, so essentially all those views, because that's what I said at the very beginning, that making it all in the most flexible way, we are basing it on the views, we are basing it on Search API, we are basing it on VBO, so views bulk operations. Hopefully you know what's that. I mean, essentially turning those views listing into like a big edit form, so you could change details of not only one specific product or order or whatever else. You could do operations on multiple elements at the same time. That's the same which applies to orders here, for example. I'm gonna give you a quick display of that. Again, we have view, we have those bulk operations. So for example, let's say that you have 10 orders that you've just shipped to someone. You could select all 10 of them and, I don't know, change their status, for example, without requirement of getting into each order separately. That's what you needed to do with Kickstart 1 before, where you didn't really have an option of displaying order details and modifying them at the same time. Here, that's actually something that you can do. You have those bulk operations, again, the same as with products. You have those quick edits where you can change the order status quickly, because that's something that you do most frequently after the order has been placed, when you ship it, when the payment has been received, in all the situations like that. But also, apart from quick edit, the same as with products, we have those full edit form. Also in terms of orders, okay, I guess I haven't clicked that yet. There we go. Okay, so with the prices, with the quantities, with the shipping information, billing information, so all the customer details, all the discounts, I don't know, all the coupons or whatever else you could really use, everything is waiting for you there. You have the payment tab where you can, if your shop, for example, provides, let's say, a payment, like, I don't know, sending by a, I don't know, bank transfers, for example, which could not be integrated, for example, or some kind of postal transfers or whatever. Essentially, that's something that you start to do manually in situations like this. Those edits are for you here. Plus the history. History works in a kind of a funny way, because normally, yeah, when the node were converted into proper entities, it was fine with nodes. Comments were well, kind of abstracted from nodes, but not completely. So it's not that we can attach comments to any other entity at the moment. So essentially, this does not use comments. This does use messages. But essentially, it's the similar idea, being able to comment on orders. You could call something similar to, for example, a revision log, which we have here. So every time that, let's say, the order is being made, or for example, its status changes, or the payment has been received, or something like that, there are those messages being kind of comments added here, which then some are displayed for the end users, which place the order for the information. What is really happening with their orders at the more or less on the ongoing basis. So all those things make using this much easier and much nicer with all the Drupal, let's say, juice or all the difficulties being kind of abstracted, being hidden from you and not available anymore. That's more or less, let's say, the very quick overview what was changed. I mean, there are, of course, obviously, lots of things being changed in Kickstart number 2 compared to Kickstart 1, but all the main angle, our main purpose here was to make it easier, to make it nice, to add a lot of love, and to make it look properly. But that's not only about the Kickstart. The thing is that Kickstart now is only one of several elements which are out there. I'd say that, of course, it's, let's say, the most important one and the one most frequently used, because that's something that, apart from vanilla Drupal commerce, of course, which, let's say, is kind of a starting point, but then if you want the pre-configured shop, that's something you're gonna download the Kickstart, you're gonna download the distribution and use it and start playing with this one. But also, if you decide that, looking at the Kickstart, and if you decide that that's something that looks really good for you, works really good for you, and that's something that you want to build your store on top of, being Kickstart only or only on just the Drupal commerce, there are quite a few other products which are essentially integrating with it. So that's not, let's go back, no, that's not what we wanted. I'll go back to this page. So we had the Kickstart. We have essentially there are two things from this part which are still in works, which I won't really show you, but we have Kickstart for mobile. So essentially it's a mobile iOS native application at the moment. Probably in the future there's going to be also for other systems, something that integrates with the Drupal commerce through commerce services and allows you to manage essentially your shop from your mobile phone or from your tablet. That's it's still not out there, but it's gonna be pretty soon, I believe, and something that makes it nicer to work with, not only from that won't require you to have essentially your notebook or your laptop, your proper desktop to manage your shop, will help you with that. There is the marketplace, which is already there, which is already integrated with the, which is already integrated with Kickstart. So there we go. And this one. If we go into, there we go. Okay, those menus are slightly disordered at the moment. That's something that I should tell you about as well. The help, that's something that we could start, for example, looking again at the product page. Essentially, with the Kickstart being implemented, each page, each admin page right now, got the proper help, contextual help. So you have, each page has very short information on what you can do on each page and what is its purpose, with some extra information being available if you need it, if you don't want really where you are or how to do such things, with some extra links to longer descriptions of each tasks, of each section, each element of the page, and these are displayed on each page, being contextual. Also, you have proper help center, which it does not want to load. Hello? Come on. Okay, it's waiting for YouTube apparently. That's not the internet at the moment we want. Yeah. Getting started, that's the second tab of the help page, which includes one video, which essentially gives you a nice introduction. Well, there we go. Okay, we'll get to getting started in a moment. Here, yeah, that's the listing of all the topics that we have for the help, and yeah, you can see that it's tasks-based. You can see that it doesn't look very nice in this resolution, apparently. Those, yeah, it gets too long, so I guess. Okay, so yeah, those are the things that apparently needs a bit more love. But each one of those have quite a lot of information being revolving around tasks. So essentially, if you're looking for information about products, about orders, whatever else, this is the place that you can always go if you don't like using the contextual help. This is the place you can go. You can find everything in one place. You have that getting started tab here as well, which has that yeah, the video from YouTube, which was trying to load before for a while, which you could look at, and essentially that's gonna be our guide if you don't know what to do with the Kickstart, what to do with the commerce in general. That's something that you can go to, play yourself, and see what functionality is out there, what you can do, what functionalities it does provide. Sorry? Czas się kończy. Okay, so I'll do it quickly then. Yes, if my time is running out. Let's go not here but here. So we have that Kickstart. We have Kickstart for mobile. I'm gonna show you very quickly. Yeah, okay. Very quick mention. That's how the install looks like. Again, that's something that looks much better than the Drupal install or Kickstart one install looked before. You have all those steps, so you have like that unfamous Windows installers or whatever else. But never mind. Marketplace. Marketplace is something that essentially is out there to give you more features, more functionalities if you want to integrate your site with more payment gateways, if you have to more analytics, for example, like proper insight into what is happening in your store, what you can do with it to make it better. It gives you some proper intelligence, for example. There you have the giraffe, you have all those extra payment. I don't know. I mean, the plan, we have like nine products out there, nine add-ons at the moment, but the point of it is there for us to pre-test it and to make sure that it works nice and give it for you to just click, select that you want to say that you want to use it, and install it quickly into your shop. The nice thing about it is that it's also available from the backend, from the admin section of the store. So essentially, you just go there, you just select one thing. If you need to go to the site to, I don't know, generate a code, for example, for you, because those are usually paid services. Just go there, generate your code, go back, say, I don't know, accept, for example, terms and conditions, and it's almost there and it already should work for you. So that's for the platform. You have all those add-ons. You also have access to other services, to the support, which we offer at the moment. We introduced some turbo tickets. We introduced some solutions, let's say, targeted and enterprises. Whatever is your background, there is something there for you, waiting for you, and which could help you if you're struggling, for example, doing things yourself. The training, obviously, etc. Okay, that was very quick marketplace. Then that's gonna be the platform, which it's all around, which essentially we're still working on, which gonna be there in like couple of months. Something a place to host your stores, a place where you can set up things and don't worry about hosting, about proper configuration, about backups, about moving into different environments, having, for example, a development, staging, production with migrating from one to another with one clicks, etc., etc., etc. So essentially a proper enterprise solution for doing all such things. It's not there yet, we're still working on it, but it's gonna be there soon. So no presentation is good without a kitten, so there we go, a kitten. Any questions? I was hurrying up.
Could you give us any numbers on performance of Kickstarter?
Well, I can't really give you that. The thing is that performance really depends on the how this is set up in terms of, set up, but this applies as for the Drupal itself. All the things that you need to set up for Drupal, you need to set for Commerce, you need to set up for Kickstart to play nicely, so all the caching, etc. But the thing is that it's mainly about, you can do with Commerce, you cannot do with Commerce or with Kickstart more than you can do with Drupals, really. So if you can set up your Drupal site properly, you can set up your Commerce site properly, and it's gonna be more or less exactly the same. It does not introduce any extra, performance implications. The thing, obviously, is that the physical configuration, the server, all the services, that's something that is pretty important. But again, that's not something that is really connected with Commerce per se. Hopefully that answers your questions. Doesn't work yet. Yeah, sure, go ahead. If your mic works.
My question is, what kind of support do you provide in terms of integration with some other shops? So let's assume that I want to display products, I guess not. I want to display products from other shops on my site. So do you have any modules to
Okay, the question was what kind of support do we provide for displaying products from different shops? The thing is that we don't. Because obviously we provide our own commerce solution, so essentially displaying products from our shops wouldn't make too much sense, because that would be like two commerce solutions working at the same time. Although the thing is that in situations like this, you would rather, and that's something that we do quite often, migrate products. Because, okay, maybe looking at it from a slightly different angle, not really taking products, using products from other shops, it's more about using products, for example, from other systems, which essentially provide product details for us, for the commerce to display it. And that's something that we do quite a lot, because obviously for all the high-profile clients, what we do, I mean, our Drupal commerce, it's not their own solution. They already have systems in place where they have all their products data in place, together with prices, together with, I don't know, promotions, any taxes, etc. We just need to reuse it. And these are the situations where there are few solutions, actually. I mean, we do not have anything to take the do not store the products in the commerce system. It works on the basis of importing the data into the commerce, and then using, for example, Commerce Feed, because that's one of the ways. There's essentially at the moment two main ways of doing this, which are out there, for which we have contributed modules available for everybody. So it's based, one way is using Commerce Feeds based on Feeds API. The second one, which is quite nice because it has the idea of the distinction between the product and product variations, and it's pretty easy essentially, for example, to do that and generate proper, let's say, product grouping those variations together. And well, this could be also obviously used for importing the products from other shops as well. The other one is the migrate module, which essentially could be used. Then, I mean, as far as I know, there is no like Commerce Migrate contributed at the moment. However, I'm not sure about this one, because that's something that we use as well. I'm just not sure if it's contributed. But essentially, that's based on the Migrate module, and the idea behind is more or less the same. And how it usually works in our cases is that we start with doing like the full migration, let's say once in a while. Sometimes it's, for example, once a week or something like that, and then have a special API for sending, receiving pings when a specific product changes and when it needs to be updated. So then using services, using those APIs, the new data of the product is fetched and updated locally in the Drupal commerce. Okay.
Another question?
I have one question.
Yeah, it works.
Did you encounter a problem with orphaned products, because you have a separation of a product and the node, and sometimes people would start adding a node and then add a variation there and click saved variation and then suddenly abandon the whole process, or something would hang up or whatever, and the product would be written to the database but the node wouldn't. So, and the user loses the visibility of the product as such, so it is there, but it's not being seen, and you get these orphaned products. And then whenever you do some other report or batch or whatever that actually loops over products, you get these, you know, orphan guys there. What do you do with them? How do you?
All right, that's something that, I mean, it could happen when using Drupal commerce only. That's something that's probably not going to happen or would be difficult to get to when using Kickstart 2, for example, when you have those inline entity forms and when you don't see that distinction. I mean, if you don't save the form, you don't when you save the form, you save both things at once, at the same time. So you save both product and product variation, or all product variations.
Are you sure? Because you have to click Save Product Variation, and then you have to click Save the node. And if you don't click any of one of these, the thing is not going to be saved. So if you don't click Save Variation, it's not going to be saved. You're going to get a blank node, which is not referencing a product. So, because that's what we are actually getting sometimes, these orphaned products.
Okay, I haven't
It's not a big issue, but
that,
maybe you just had an experience. Okay.
I mean, correct me please if I'm wrong, but as far as what I experienced was that once you save everything, you are actually saving everything. So you're saving both things at the same time. But
maybe in the newer version. So
sorry?
Maybe in a newer version of the module. Maybe
Anyway,
perhaps.
yeah, I mean, I'm talking about Kickstart 2 at the moment, and perhaps with the new version of the modules. But the thing is that even if, I don't know, I mean, even if that's the case, it still could happen in any way, because that's something that is out there on the, let's say, those product listings which are displayed in the commerce menu. But still, you can get to those original places where those products are listed, like they were in the Kickstart one before. So essentially, you could still probably get to that situations that you have a product or product variations, let's say, without a product. In such situation, you could just create yourself a view which would list those product variations.
Well, that's what we do. That's what we do basically, and we tell clients to check every once and then if there aren't any orphaned ones. There is also this module, Product Display Manager, which actually then lists the relationship. You can see the relationship, and on the bottom of the whole page, you see those that are orphaned. But maybe I was just thinking maybe there was a way I would,
No, there is nothing like that which is included directly in the Kickstart. So that's something that I guess that would need to be a custom solution then. Which I guess, yeah, that's true that when you start dealing with like a lot of products, that's something worth considering, that you probably don't want to miss any products to be displayed on the site. Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Right.
Just a quick question about add-ons on Commerce Marketplace. Are they paid? And if so, on what license are they distributed?
That's something that doesn't really depend on us. I mean, because those are product services which are provided by external companies. So essentially, what we do is partnership with those companies. I mean, the thing is, the target of the purpose of those add-ons of the marketplace per se is to provide kind of advice, let's say. So telling that those are the add-ons that we have tested, we know that they work, and that they work really good, they do a good job. And that's something that if you want to have such functionality, for example, I don't know, if you want to have let's say some proper e-commerce analytics, then you would probably want to use Giraffe, because that's one of those add-ons that is already out there. But then it depends on the service, it depends on the partner company, how much you need to pay, do you need to pay for it at all?